with me. Come here. Hey guys, it's me Zoe, and today I have something a little bit more serious than normal to talk about, but I wanted it to be super casual, so I'm just here in my living room eating my breakfast, just hanging out in some comfy clothes with my Nala bear. I've noticed over the last couple of years on YouTube and with people in general that a lot of people have become really comfortable with accepting illnesses, specifically mental illnesses. I think it's great because a lot of people have gotten to more thoroughly understand different sorts of illnesses out there and educate themselves more, and I think it's great that people are comfortable talking about it and just embracing it, because although, yeah, it might stink to experience it or to witness it, it's good to be educated on, so that way if something ever does happen to you or someone you know or just anyone in general, you're prepared and you know what's going on. Today I really want to talk about anxiety, specifically anxiety attacks. I want to talk about this because I know there's a lot of videos already on YouTube about this in specific, but I've noticed that most anxiety attack and panic attack videos are about personal experiences and what happened to that person who's talking to the camera. I really want to see more videos and more information on how to handle someone who's experiencing anxiety, especially someone who's in the middle of having an anxiety or a panic attack. I think a lot of times it's really difficult to tell what you should do in that situation. It can be really tricky. So today I thought that I would just sit down and very casually go over some things that I think help me personally and that I've noticed help other people when they're going through an attack. Anxiety is one of those things, I feel like it's very easy to diagnose. It's so hard to differentiate between people. I think everyone experiences anxiety differently. Every human being experiences some form of anxiety. I just think that some people experience it on a higher level than other people. But what I find interesting and what I got confused with a while ago is the difference between anxiety and panic attacks. I'm not someone certified at all in this area, I'm not a doctor, but from what I understand, a panic attack is definitely worse than an anxiety attack. An anxiety attack will normally last a shorter amount of time. It's usually caused by a trigger or by something that you're aware of. For instance, you're scared of going on airplanes and you know that you don't like to fly them because you think the plane might crash. So it's before your flight, before you're entering the plane, you start to feel anxious, you start to feel very nervous, your heart starts racing, you start feeling scared and nervous and frightened. That is what I think of when I think of an anxiety attack. Now, a panic attack is different. It can last longer than an anxiety attack. It has very similar symptoms like sweating, quickened heartbeat, nausea. You can feel like you have chills. Some people say they start getting headaches. More specifically, what differentiates the two is with panic attacks, you don't know why you're fearing, you don't know why you're scared, you don't know why you feel anxious. A panic attack comes out of nowhere. It can last for a short amount of time, it can last for a long amount of time. You don't ever really know. I've definitely experienced both attacks, and neither one of them are fun. When someone is having one of those attacks, I feel some people experience it very externally and other people experience it internally. So that is also kind of hard to tell sometimes. Key things I look for in someone who's experiencing an attack are either they've grown really very quiet, they've secluded themselves into a little area, or if I see someone who has become very sporadic, like they can't focus on what they're saying. It's almost like they just ran a marathon and they're trying to get all of these thoughts out onto the table. But those are just a few symptoms that I start to notice in someone who's about to have an attack, but everyone is different. If you do notice a sudden change in someone, or you do notice very typical anxiety or panic attack symptoms beginning in someone, don't ask them if they're okay. Don't ask them what's wrong. Don't try to figure out why they're scared or why they're about to freak out. I've noticed that can be a trigger for someone. It definitely does not make someone feel more comfortable, and that's your main goal in this situation, is just to make them feel comfortable. Just don't draw attention to the fact that they're freaking out right now. Instead, maybe go get them a glass of room temperature water. Start talking about something that's happening right now, like what's playing on the TV. Start talking about a TV show that's going on, or talk about the meal that you're eating and how good it is. Talk about something that they're looking forward to if you know them a little bit better, like a trip they're about to take or something they're about to do later on in the day, so that they know, oh yeah, I have other plans, it's gonna be okay, I have stuff to look forward to, this isn't gonna last forever. Definitely get them something to drink that isn't crazy. Like I said, room temperature water is usually a great choice, or a hot cup of tea. One thing I've learned from other people and from people who have talked to me that are specialized in diagnosing panic and anxiety attacks is that, yes, you don't want to keep thinking about what's happening in your attack, but you also have to accept it. You have to accept that you're freaking out right now. At the same time, you have to also accept that it will be over and everything's going to be okay. And that can be very difficult for someone. So as long as you're calm, talking them through it, trying to ease their mind, allow them to think about something else positive. If they're in a super public situation, sometimes that can make it worse as well. If they're in a really crowded atmosphere, or they're in a dangerous area where they're having an attack, like about to board a roller coaster at a theme park, that can have some people freak out. So maybe take them out of the ride line, or take them out of the crowded area and just go on a little walk with them and just start talking about something more positive. Besides that, there's not really much else you can do. You just have to be there for them, be completely okay with not understanding why they're freaking out, and just try your hardest not to want to figure it out and not to get annoyed with them or confused, because they're feeling the exact same way you are. They may not understand why it's happening, they don't like that it's happening, and I definitely know that they don't want it to happen. I know there's loads more tips and a lot more things I could talk about in this area, but I definitely want to talk about this more in the future. What are some things you do to help someone else in a panic or an anxiety attack? Definitely want to talk about my personal experiences. It's not something I love to talk about, but like I said before, I think it's great for people to know that they're not alone and to become more aware and more educated on the situation. Thank you so much for watching, and of course, have a great rest of your day, and see you in my next video.